Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo is expected to rule today on whether he will recuse himself from hearing the testimony of former President Jacob Zuma. Zondo yesterday read a statement at the State Capture Commission in Johannesburg denying having a relationship with Zuma or that the former president influenced his career in the judiciary. Zuma's lawyers allege their client has been treated unfairly by the commission, ignoring and ridiculing his earlier evidence and in the manner in which it selected witnesses and some statements made by Zondo. Commission lawyers, however, rejected the claims, saying they did not pass the test of what constitutes bias and therefore Zondo must remain. A small group of members of the Umkhonto Sizwe Military Veterans Association yesterday gathered in Braamfontein in Johannesburg to show support for former President Jacob Zuma. For an update, let's cross live to our colleague Abongile Dumako. Abongile, very good morning to you. Day 2, what are you seeing there?
Good morning, Desiree. Day 2 indeed. We wait in anticipation to see what will transpire outside these Johannesburg old chambers here in Braamfontein. This is where we saw quite a bit of activity during when former President Jacob Zuma was making his appearance yesterday. But since we got here, we haven't seen any of that yet, except to highlight that there's a heavy police presence in and around the Johannesburg chambers, Desiree. Maybe in anticipation of any eventualities that we are yet to see, we don't know. But at the moment, I can just tell you that there's a lot of police presence around Braamfontein. We've seen Inyelas, we've seen police, we've seen barbed wires. No one knows what's going to happen, but certainly quite a lot of activity happening in and around, outside the State Capture Commission venue in the form of security. Yes, of course, while I was driving here on the highway, I did see the motorcade of former President Jacob Zuma making its way towards the Johannesburg city center. However, on arrival here, I can see and I can tell you, confirm as well, that he has not arrived. Much as DCJ Raymond Zondo, he's yet to arrive, but certainly proceedings are expected to take place at around 10 o'clock this morning. This is where we'll get a clarity as to what's going to happen next in as far as DCJ Raymond Zondo is concerned. Will he recuse himself? Will he continue to be the chairperson of the commission? Mind you, if ironically he would sort of recuse himself as the chairperson of this commission, it will simply mean that what has been happening in the past, say, 18 months is null and void, because it will mean that all that what he's been doing, if everything goes by former President Jacob Zuma's wish, he'll just have to start fresh. In fact, that's a call as well that Carl Nehas, who's always been behind the former president, saying that they actually are also calling for the whole State Capture Commission to be scrapped and start from scratch.
Yeah, just talking about Carl Nehas there, just give us a sense of what the Umkhonto Sizwe military veterans were saying yesterday.
Basically, they came out in full force to show support to the former President Jacob Zuma. Safe to say, though, there wasn't quite a lot of them. It was quite a mouthful of the Umkhonto Sizwe veterans members. Of course, Carl Nehas being in the forefront, saying that all what's important is for former President Jacob Zuma to know that they are behind him as the MK veterans. They are going to see to it that until the end of time, that is when his appearance come to an end later this week, they are going to make sure that they come out here. He did make mention of the fact that yesterday they will galvanize, they will actually go out and go and actually reach out to more of the MK veterans to come and show support for former President Jacob Zuma. On yesterday afternoon, when actually the former president was actually exiting the commission, we did see these Umkhonto Sizwe members making a guard of honor as the former president's motorcade was making its way out. Carl Nehas saying that this is going to be an order of the day throughout the course of the week. Yes, they've been picketing yesterday. We wait in anticipation to see if there's going to be more of them coming here and if they're going to continue with what they were doing yesterday. But according to Carl Nehas, that's going to be the order of the day until the end of this week. Yeah,
just take us through the House rules. What time are proceedings supposed to start today, and what can we expect? Is the former president's matter the only matter that's going to be listened to today, or are there other testimonies that are going to take place?
Well, as far as we understand, Desiree, is that the proceedings will resume at 10 o'clock this morning. This is where TCJ Raymond Zondo will actually make a ruling on whether or not he will recuse himself. We understand as well from what the representatives of former President Jacob Zuma, in the name of Advocate Moses Kakane, they want the DCJ to actually recuse himself, alluding to the fact that he's been biased. And of course, this commission was just set up to actually, silence Zuma, for a lack of a better word, just to make it a point that he's being ridiculed in as far as his leadership during his tenure as the president of the country, saying that this commission really had one mission and one mission only, which was to embarrass the former president. And of course, Advocate Paul Pretorius, who's one of the evidence leaders, taking to the fore as well, saying that in fact this has never been seen before, where a presiding judge over a commission having to recuse himself. So a lot of debate coming on both angles of this whole, debacle, if you may say. So we await, of course, first thing that is going to happen is for Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo to give a ruling on whether or not he's going to recuse himself. Then, of course, depending on what he has to say in that front. But beyond that, we expect the proceedings to continue. And of course, if at all, TCJ Raymond Zondo doesn't recuse himself, and then former President Jacob Zuma will have to continue to give evidence as was scheduled during when he was subpoenaed to come and make an appearance here at this State Capture Commission of Inquiry.
Thank you so much for setting the scene for us there, our colleague Abongile Dumako. So, just how did the Bushiri couple flee South Africa? Well, Home Affairs Minister Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi is appearing before a parliamentary committee this morning to explain how the self-styled prophet and his wife skipped the country. Questions abound, especially since Shepherd Bushiri and his wife Mary had handed in their travel documents to authorities during their court appearance. The couple is now in Malawi, and South Africa has started extradition proceedings to bring them back.